Hello, and welcome to
Papi Approved Movies.
My name is Papi.
And I'm Natalie.
In our podcast, we will review and critique my favorite PG-13 movies.
Movies that I wasn't allowed to watch until I turned 13.
Every week, Natalie and I will watch a new PG-13 movie.
And I'll see if Papi's movies live up to the hype.
Which, of course, they will.
Today we're going to be watching Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy.
Before we begin, there will be spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie and don't want it to be spoiled,
Press pause and come back when you're finished. Now, Papi, tell me the deets on this movie.
Okay. Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy came out in 2004 with a runtime of 1 hour and 34 minutes. It's streaming on Paramount+. It was written by Will Ferrell and Adam McKay, and it was directed by Adam McKay. The main stars are Will Ferrell, Christina Applegate, and Steve Carell. Fun fact, with all the references in this movie, people think that it takes place around 1977, which happens to be the year that I was born. There was a sequel in 2013 called Anchorman 2, The Legend Continues.
This doesn't seem like a movie that would need a sequel.
Yeah, I know. So what do you think, Nat?
I didn't like it.
What a surprise. Go ahead.
It was, everything about it was just sad.
Sad?
Yeah, the only notes I took were about why it couldn't be made today.
All right, what did you rate it?
I gave it a 2 stars. Because I did
stars.
find some of the jokes funny. So
I didn't. Some of the jokes? You didn't think many of them were funny?
Not really.
Okay. So I watched
It's basically just a group of guys bullying this one lady, and then she starts beating them all up and being evil as well.
When I watched this movie, again, I thought it was hilarious. I still think it's funny. I think pretty much all the actors are funny. You have Ant-Man in there, he's funny. You have Michael Scott from The Office, he's funny. And Will Ferrell's funny too. But I did see that movie seemed like it had a lot of references to older things that a 13-year-old boy or girl wouldn't understand. I don't know why the movie's rated PG-13, to be honest. I think it's more for an older audience.
I think it's for cursing and gore.
No, I know why it's rated that way, but I'm just saying they're hitting the wrong audience.
Yeah.
I think people like me would find it way more funnier than someone who's 13 or 14. There are some movies that I watch and I go, oh, 13-year-old me would have loved that. Kind of like Batman. That made sense. For my little boy me would have loved. But this movie, I don't think I would have liked it when I was younger. I think I got most of the jokes as I got older in life. So I understand why you didn't like it that much, although it's funny.
No.
And then also, yeah, when it comes down to all these guys bullying one lady, and then she fights back.
But she doesn't fight back respectfully, or she's not trying to do anything good. She's just revenge, and it's just petty. Everyone's just being petty for an entire hour. Yeah,
I thought it was funny. That's why it was so funny. I thought they were so mean to each other, and it's funny. And then the one time that she's mean back, spoiler later, then that has the bad consequences. And she's the only one that actually shows remorse for her actions, right?
Everyone else gets no consequences. They just do whatever they want, and then
That's true.
They get away with it, which is sad because I feel like it's almost like a message. It's like guys can do whatever, and they just get away with it. But as soon as the girl does something wrong, then that's a problem.
Well, I think that's the point. I think that's the whole movie. That's what joke's on.
Why don't we get into the recap? Don't go anywhere. Papi Approved Movies will be back after this quick message.
Another 13 episodes in the can.
Thank you for all your support.
You inspire us to keep going and make more podcasts.
Season 2 is over, but we'll be back in May for our next season of Papi Approved Movies.
Tune in on May 8th for episode 27, Clueless.
Have a wonderful Easter, and I'll see you in May.
Please place seat backs and tray tables in their full upright position. Papi Approved Movies is back. So the movie begins in San Diego in the 70s. Once again, we think 1977. San Diego. We see Ron Burgundy, Channel 4 News anchor at the 6 o'clock news. He's getting ready to go live, preparing with mouth exercise and drinking loads of scotch. He says, I love scotch. That's funny. He's a funny actor. Will Ferrell's funny. The news report begins and we meet Brick Tamlin, the weatherman with an IQ of 48, Brian Fontana, the reporter on the field and stylish ladies man, and Champ Kind on sports and loves having fun. That's the crew. They're hugely popular in San Diego with the #1 in the ratings. Back in the day, this is news crew that people would watch, right? There wasn't like the internet. There wasn't like cable TV. This is the news that they would watch every day to get their information.
So a viral video of like a cat, which would now just be on like a social media, was actually a part of the news.
Right. That was like some story that they found. When they found the little squirrel on the jet skis or on the skis, remember?
Yeah.
That's one of those viral videos that was on the movie. After the broadcast, they all have a raging party. Everyone's having a good time when Ron spots Veronica Corningstone and falls in love. He approaches her and makes his move. After some blatant sexual harassment, she rejects him hard.
I know.
Ron goes home and goes to sleep with his doggy Baxter. You like Baxter?
I know. It was funny because he's like, let's get you into your PJs. It's like, it's a dog.
Yeah, the dog's in his PJs. And he has a mouthpiece just like he does, right?
Yeah. Like normally throughout the movie, he wears no clothes, but he does wear PJs.
Gotta be ready for bed. The next day, Ed, the station director, informs the hungover crew that the network wants to have more diversity and hires a woman reporter. Veronica comes in. The crew is furious and insults Veronica mercilessly. Ron defends her, and they make fun of him, so he backtracks and says, hey, why don't we all try to be with her, try to date her.
Great! Now she's a prize to be won.
There you go. Back to that wonderful movie trope that you love so much. He didn't really want that, though. I think he was just kind of wanted to kind of like, not protect her, but like defend her. And then they were like making fun of him for it. And that's why he did that. My favorite part of that part when he goes diversity. And they're like, what's diversity? What are you talking about? Diversity is the worst. That's funny. Then the crew starts trying to date Veronica. Date in quotation. Champ tries, and after groping her, she punches him in the nads. Brian tries, but the perfume he wears drives everyone in the office to get sick. Brick tries.
More vomiting.
You didn't see it though. Did you see it?
No, you just heard a bunch of people vomiting.
Yeah, it smelled so bad that the alarm went off, and then they hosed him down at the end. Remember?
Yeah, but like later they show like him with the spoilers. Later they show him, well, not really, with like a lady, and he's like, "Are you wearing that perfume?" But like no one else is dying at that point, but he's still wearing the perfume.
Yeah, like it didn't work the first time. Why would he still wear it? That's funny.
But like the second time, it wasn't like no one cared. Like no one noticed except for that one girl, which is like weird comparison because before everyone was like throwing up and everyone could smell it.
Yeah, but that girl liked it. She kind of like liked it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She was attracted to that smell. Maybe he put on less. Who knows? I don't know. Anyways, Brick tries to go after her as well, but he doesn't know what he's doing. And he just says things that people tell him to say, and then he asks someone else out too, the guy that was next to her. So he was just...
I don't think he wanted to even say her.
He just did what he was told. Then Ron makes his move and says he wants to show her San Diego, one professional to another, and she goes for it. We kind of realize she likes him too. And kind of see it, right? Like she says, don't like him. But I think she's attracted to Ron Burgundy from the beginning.
After he sexually harassed her.
Yeah. He started off very, very strong. And he asked her nicely, but by that time he was already a jerk. But she already liked him. Like she was already attracted to him, which is funny. Sophia would say that, well, Ferrell's not very handsome. Like, why is she like into him and his mustache? But
I think that's the point.
The news crew is out. They're hanging out in town, and they run into the Channel 9's news crew, the #2 news show in town. They have a heated confrontation, but Ron and his crew get the upper hand.
I like this part because someone said something about someone else's mom, and everyone's like, whoa.
Had a mom joke?
Uh-huh.
That's funny. Anyways, back at the news station, Veronica's mad that she's always getting puff pieces and wants to be treated like a real serious journalist.
I feel like that's a point where it's like, I'm a woman and I'm not getting serious things, but their whole thing isn't serious. Like none of them have serious news stories, except for maybe the weather, and like that's it.
Yeah, they don't really show the actual news that they report, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
It must be actual news, you know? Because the other guy, I guess the real news story is the panda later.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not very serious, is it?
So I don't really think it's a matter of like, I'm not getting respected. Because no one in that office is respected. Or like, they are respected, but they're not getting like respectable news stories.
Yeah,
That's what I mean.
they're kind of a joke. The whole thing's a joke, right?
Yeah.
Ron takes Veronica out that night. They see San Diego from a makeout point, and then they go to Tino's, an Italian restaurant. There, Ron plays the jazz flute. Veronica falls in love.
How long did he have his flute up his sleeve?
I know, he just took it like he was ready to go. Packed it that night, thinking, I'm going to go to Tino's. I'm going to impress her. This is going to work out. And it did. It worked out, right?
Uh-huh. It just slid out of his sleeve of his jacket.
I even missed it. I didn't even notice when he did it. I had to ask you guys where you got it from. After that, they make out and they go to Pleasure Town, a cartoon love world. Inappropriate! The next morning, Veronica asks Ron to keep their romance a secret, though she's taken seriously as a reporter. You like Pleasure Town? That was kind of funny.
It felt like it wouldn't fit, but it still fit because it was the type of movie
It's
it
just
was.
so silly, yeah. I think, with sexuality and inappropriate things like that, I think it's kind of a funny way to show it, right? As opposed to actually showing them doing anything or anything inappropriate. Just kind of funny. Because they're like riding rainbows and, right?
On
like,
unicorns.
They're on unicorns. That's pretty funny. So anyway, she tells him not to say anything. But at the station, Ron screams that they are intimate and the night before and that they are in love.
Why is she still there?
And he even broadcasts it on the nightly news. She's super mad at him. But he says he loves her so much he can't hold it in, that he wants to scream her from the top of the mountain.
I think it's annoying that she did anything in the first place if she wanted to keep stuff secret, knowing Ron. That was just a stupid idea.
Well, I think she forgives him, right? And I think he's innocent in this point, right? He just loves her so much he can't control it. And that's just him. He's just like a little boy. So he just blurts it out, just like a little child. So I think, I don't know. I can't blame him for that because he just loves her. And he does love her. He loves her, right?
I'm not blaming him. I'm blaming her.
She should have never been with him.
No, that was just a stupid idea to think that she would ever keep it secret.
Well, I think she just fell in love with him too. So they should have never went to Pleasure Town, you're saying?
Yeah, if she wanted to keep stuff like secret.
That's true.
Or not have a relationship.
But she fought it. She didn't want to, right? But she's like, I can't do this. But I love him so much. It's too much. It's too much. The crew asks Ron to hang out with them, but he says he has plans with Veronica. The crew starts getting very jealous of Ron and Veronica spending so much time together, especially Champ. And they start making the insinuation that she's doing it to get above or become a reporter.
I feel that's kind of like a Legally Blonde situation.
In which way?
Where it's like, everyone's like, oh my gosh, she's sleeping with the professor just so that she can become an intern and all that.
Right. It's like the jealousy that people start blaming them.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true. Good point.
I feel like whenever someone's super successful, people are like, they're just doing something. Or like, they're paying someone or something. They're not, like, it's just, as soon as someone gets something that's good, everyone else is like quick to point fingers at them.
They're just jealous.
Yeah.
They're just, trying to make excuses on why they're not successful. You know what I mean? Yeah. On the way to the TV station, Ron throws a burrito out the window and hits a guy in a motorcycle, causing him to crash. That's not funny? That's not funny to you? That's hilarious. The dude threw a burrito out the window, hit a guy.
Why is he throwing a burrito out of the window?
Remember Bumper? Was it Bumper who threw a burrito? But he threw it at Fat Amy in Pitch Perfect.
He was trying to
He was trying to hit her with it. So it reminded me of that.
He was like eating, he like took one bite of his burrito and he's like, I'm done, and he just threw it out the window. Like, what is wrong with you? You couldn't save your burrito for later? You couldn't have given it to your dog? He probably would have enjoyed your burrito.
No, he wouldn't have liked it. He threw it out the window. The motorcyclist gets so angry that his most valued treasure is destroyed that he grabs Baxter and he kicks him off the bridge. Ron loses his mind.
Peter, come after this movie.
I know.
They kicked it down.
That was hilarious. That was my favorite part of the movie. Because you could tell it's a fake dog.
It's a stuffed animal. Like, it flops like one.
Yeah, right from the beginning, you could see that it's a fake dog, but it's still hilarious. And that's a nice little cameo by Jack Black. He was in there for like 13 seconds. But it was a funny part. He just kicked the dog out. I think that's so funny. You didn't think it was funny? All right, Peter's going to come after me now, so let's move forward.
PETA, please don't come after us.
Yeah, it's gonna shut us down. We're gonna have we're gonna be taken off the air. At the TV station, the crew is but it's still funny. I don't care. The dog being kicked off the bridge was hilarious to me.
I thought it was funny because they showed, like, they didn't just show him getting kicked off the bridge. They showed him, like, falling to the water, too, and, like, landing in the water, like, the little plop.
Yeah, and then it even looked even more fake, right?
Yeah.
At the TV station, the crew is waiting on Ron. Veronica says she'll step in. Ron is still crying in a telephone booth at this time. Ed has no recourse, and when the news begins, Veronica is the anchor. When Ron gets there, he says that he can go on. He's ready to go. Then he finds out the news is over, and Veronica was the anchor. He loses his mind, and he becomes awful to her, and they break up.
I don't know why it was literally only one time, and he's just like, ah!
He lost his mind. Yeah, that was it.
And it was like, that's kind of sad.
I agree. Kind of changed his character from being like the goofy, lovable knucklehead, to becoming just mean, just super, super angry and mean, right?
Yeah, and I didn't get it. I was like, it's literally only one time, and like maybe because Baxter just died, like
maybe he's in grief.
Yeah, but I was like, you were just so mean, and like Veronica did good, and it's like you love Veronica supposedly,
right,
with quotation marks, and you're still like, get out, I hate you, and it's like she literally helped you out by filling in your spot, and you're mad at her.
Yeah. The next day, Veronica is made co-anchor, and the childish games begin. Ron and the crew play terrible tricks on her and demean and insult her. This is the part that Sophia hates the most, because she didn't like the parts where they were just being nasty to each other, just trading barbs and being rude. Obviously, Ron was way meaner than she was. Like, she wasn't really as mean as he was.
Yeah.
And he was just terrible to her.
And it's just like they had no consequences. Like, where is HR?
Yeah, there's no HR right then. The crew is so bothered that what's going on at the news station. Then they go and buy suits and end up in a terrible gang fight with Channel 9 News.
Why are they bothered? They're the one who's doing all of this stuff, and they're just like, I can't handle it. I need to go buy suits. Like, you're the one who's making the problem.
Well, the women start standing up to them. So the women at the station see that, hey, you know what? Veronica's a co-anchor now. We're equals. And they start standing up to the guys, and then they're like, oh, this is not okay. We need to be able to treat women wrong.
Oh my gosh, I can get away with everything now. That's crazy.
Well, I can't get away with anything now. Yeah. Anyways, they get into a gang fight with Channel 9 News, Channel 2 News, Public Television News, and Spanish language news. The battle is deadly, and Brick kills a man with a trident. Men have arms cut off. People are stabbed. There's horses involved. This battle is vicious. This is hilarious. You like this?
Yeah, that is kind of funny.
The character from Channel 9, Channel 9, Wes Mantooth, he's from Dodgeball. And then from the Spanish language news, it was also from Dodgeball as well. So he had a couple of Dodgeball cameos in there.
This is where I was like, whoa, reality. Because then afterwards they're like, Brick, you're probably wanted for murder. And I was like, oh yeah, murder and laws exist in this world.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, maybe you should find someone to hide around with. Yeah, that's what Ron said.
I was like, wait, there's morality in this world.
That's funny.
There's like actual laws. Like people don't just get to kill each other.
But he does. He doesn't go to jail.
Yeah.
Yeah, so really there aren't rules. He killed people. Cops came and they took off. But he left the man dead, right? He stabbed another guy in the heart, I think, right?
With a trident.
No, didn't he also stab someone with a knife too?
He cut off someone's arm.
And someone cut off someone's arm. Yeah, I remember that.
And he stabbed someone.
Yeah.
And he tridented someone.
Someone. Later, all the ladies in the office go out for Mexican food when one of the ladies tells Veronica how to fight back. By the way, you and Sophia couldn't read it. The name of the restaurant was called We Spit in Your Food in Spanish. And you guys were like, oh, looks like a place I want to go eat. That's the name of it.
I'm in Spanish 1.
So I should have known it.
Don't learn it.
Anyways, the ladies tell her
Honestly, this is your fault. You should have taught me. All your fault.
We're going to blame your mother. Your mother is the one who's supposed to teach you Spanish. I taught you English.
Now I'm eating with food and spit because of you.
That's good. I wonder if it was any good. She tells her.
Tastes like chicken.
Anyway, so ladies tell Veronica how to get back to Ron, that he will read anything on the teleprompter. So Veronica plays her one and only prank on him, right? and she makes him say an F-bomb towards San Diego in the news. And Ron reads it without even knowing it. He just keeps going. Everybody's like shocked that he did it, and he's like walking out. Da-da-da-da.
Oh yeah, I remember one time there was like a question mark at the end, and he was like, "See you later. I'm Ron Swanson."
Ron Burgundy.
Ron Burgundy.
Ron Swanson from
the Parks and Rec.
Yeah, they put a question mark in there. He's like, "I'm Ron Burgundy." Yeah, like he'll read anything that's on there. Anyways, it's funny because there's not many. What is it? One F-bomb you can have in a PG-13 movie.
Yeah.
And this is the perfect placement for it, right? Because it was supposed to be shocking, and it came out.
And I feel like it was. I think I remember it was like censored.
What do you mean?
The F-bomb.
No, he said it.
Really?
Yeah, he said it. Yeah, he actually said like you hear the word. Yeah, kind of like, which makes it even funnier because people lose their mind, right? Everybody else gets so upset. The entire city of San Diego turns their back on him, and he's fired. There are even protests wanting his head. Veronica's remorseful. She didn't want to get him fired, but he did.
With all the stuff he does on that news channel, though, you wouldn't think that this is the worst.
I guess saying an F-bomb on the news is the worst thing you could do. Remember that one of the workers of the station's like, "How could you, Ron?" He started crying. "How could you do that to us?" He was like crying. All the bikers at the bars were angry. The baby was angry. Everybody hated him. Ron falls hard and begins drinking and growing a huge beard. His old crew even turns their back on him, otherwise they would be fired. All the while, Veronica has made Anchor. Now that she's Anchor, people are kind of saying that she did it on purpose. Now, she did do it to mess with him, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think she wanted... Do you think she wanted him fired?
I'm not sure, because they wanted her fired.
Well, for sure.
But, like, I don't know if she, like, wanted to get back equally, or she just... Because, like, what is she going to gain from that? Just, like, he says something and everyone's like, "Oh, that's shocking."
She becomes the Anchor.
But then he's fired.
And now she's the Anchor.
So that's what she always wanted him to be fired.
Then. Do you think that... So you think she did it on purpose?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think she had that evil in her.
Because what would she have gained from that?
Just mess with them. Okay? Like, why would they do prank calls to mess with her, right? Just to be mean.
They were like, "You should move away." Like, I feel like it sounds stupid, like they're just messing with her, but like they are dumb enough to think that would work.
Like she would be like, "Hi, this is Alaska. You need to go to Alaska or something like that." That's funny. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I didn't see her being that mean, but maybe. 3 months pass, and Ling Wong, the panda, is having a baby. All the news crews go to the zoo to get the scoop. Ron looks on from a bar. Veronica finds a good spot, but the public television anchor pushes her into the bear pit. She cannot scream to notify anyone because she's afraid of waking up the sleeping bears.
This is where you need the cellular device.
This is where you need a cellular device so you can call someone. It's funny how that was pretty violent. The guy just kind of kicked her off and threw her into the bear pit.
And she didn't get hurt at all.
No, she was fine.
She literally just stood up and she's like, "I'm going to get eaten now."
Yeah, she was just...
It was like, that was more than like a 3-foot drop.
I know. Everybody made that jump later. Like that jump was like at least 10, 15 feet deep and no one got hurt from it.
Yeah.
Right? Anyways, Ed, the station manager, freaks out because he needs an anchor to report the panda story. So he calls Ron. Ron cleans up, calls his crew with a conch shell, and they reunite and go to the zoo. Baxter hears the conch shell as well and comes out of the river and starts running home. Baxter's alive!
Why didn't he come out of the river earlier?
He was surviving. I don't know. Maybe he didn't think that Ron needed him, but now he needs him. So, at the zoo, Ron sees Veronica in the bear pit, and he has a decision to make. Save her or cover the story. He decides to save her. He jumps into the bear pit, and now they're both stuck. That was just a dumb thing, right?
Yeah.
He like jumped in to get her, but then how's he going to get her?
Why couldn't he have covered the story and other people help her? Like everyone else is just so incompetent.
Because he loves her, don't you remember? His crew jumps in too and starts fighting the bears. All of them are fighting the bears.
They're losing.
Yeah, well, except for Brick. He ends up riding a bear, remember? He's just riding a bear and they're all like going
I mean,
around.
he did murder 2 people. I think he's competent.
He's competent for that. Things are going very badly until Baxter comes in and talks to the bears. There's a mutual respect between Mother Bear and Baxter, and the bears retreat. The crew finally climb out of the pit. No worse for wear. There you go, they survived.
With no injuries at all from their, like, 12-foot jump.
I know. Or the attacks from the bears.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, what? The guy who lost his arm, a bear rips off his other arm, right?
Which, like, the bear climbs out of the pit, like, 12-foot pit.
Yeah.
Like, how is that normally safe then?
Did the bear go up the ladder? I don't think so, right?
No.
Then Ron and Veronica report the panda story together, and they make up. They eventually become famous network news anchors. The funny movie. Lots of good jokes. It's funny when we recap it. You laughed quite a bit. I'm going to have to check the pod, but I think you have a 30 laughs per second record here on the pod, so I don't know.
No.
Could this movie still be made today?
No.
Yeah, okay, let's hear about it. This is obviously before the Me Too movement, so I would think that it probably wouldn't be made today. Let me hear you.
I feel like Ron was just, like, sexist. But then, like, everyone was sexist.
Yeah, every man in this show was sexist, for sure.
But I also feel like sexism was, like, to the norm, where, like, he felt, like, left out or weird whenever he, like, tried to, like, defend Veronica.
Right.
So, some instances of sexism where when, like, he was getting introduced, he told some lady to not wear a bra next time. He told someone, if you were a man, I would punch you, which is like, don't punch anyone. And later in the movie, he punches Veronica.
He punches Veronica?
Yeah. So what was the point? Like, that was not in your morals, no matter what. You just said that to be annoying.
When did he punch Veronica?
When they were battling.
Oh, yes, that's right. He punched her, threw her around. They like actually got into a real fight, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
And they were like throwing printers at each other and stuff.
That's right. She held her own though. She was tough. Anything else?
They use the R word a lot.
Okay, yes.
Because of Brick.
Yeah. Right. He called himself that.
Oh, yeah, that's.
But still, it doesn't make it right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they were like always making jokes like Anchorman, not Anchorwoman, all that stuff.
Sure.
Someone said periods attract bears, which is funny because then she gets thrown into a bear pit later.
That's a foreshadow. A foreshadow
Yeah.
right there.
But then they all get attacked anyway.
Yeah, not just her. Yeah, that's funny.
They were all complaining about Veronica being in them, like, the whole team now. And then they were like, well, at least she has a big butt. Like, that's some sort of, like, consolation prize for them.
Yeah, that's funny.
That they, like, had to be on a team with a woman. They just couldn't handle that.
Yeah, back then they just didn't exist. It didn't make sense to them. They had problems.
So when Ron was like, she has feelings, everyone was like, you sound like a soft boy. Beep! And then they were like, you sound gay. And it's like, can only gay people respect women?
In this movie world.
And then they gave, I thought this was racist, but for Spanish news, they gave them a whip and a machete in the fight.
That's racist. And the fact that the actor is not Latino, right?
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff that's not going to cut it anymore. You're not going to have.
There's so many Latino actors, and like you still have like a white guy play one.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
And the bartender, which was Danny Trejo, I think.
Well, what was wrong with that?
Well, so he was like speaking to Ron, and Ron's like, sorry, are you speaking? I don't understand Spanish.
That's true.
He's like, he's speaking English.
Yeah, he's speaking English, and then he calls him, he's like, I don't understand your Spanish. You're right. That's racist. You're right. Go ahead.
Yeah, but that's about it.
Is that all you got?
That's all.
That's nothing else?
Nope.
Yeah, see, I think the whole joke is that everybody's a misogynist. Everybody's sexist. A lot of sexual harassment. Everything's funny. I think now we're kind of a lot more open to that. That's not really funny, right? It's not something that we laugh at anymore.
It's not supposed to be like taken so lightly.
No. You know who hated this movie? Mom. But she laughed all the time. Anytime Mom laughs, she wants to hide it because she doesn't want people to go, oh, you think that's funny? And I love catching her in like something very inappropriate and she starts cracking up. It's funny to me. All right. Does it pass the Bechdel test?
No, there was not even a second woman.
There was, I don't know, maybe she wasn't named.
No, she was only one named woman.
No. All right, well, anyways, let's go over the Bechdel test criteria. which it didn't pass, which it doesn't surprise me because it doesn't seem like this movie was really made for women to enjoy. It was more about laughing at women, to be honest. So,
do you imagine like a 13-year-old girl in like a movie theater with like a bunch of boys around her? You know how uncomfortable that would feel in like a movie theater?
Anyways, the Bechdel test is a test to see about female representation in a movie. There are 3 criteria. First criteria, there are 2 named women, and the answer is no. So right off the bat, that does not pass.
There's 3 levels, and it hasn't even got past level 1.
So it gets 0 out of 3.
Which is the easiest one, 2 women. Is there 2 women in the movie that are named?
There is the one woman character who's the friend that stops putting up with sexual harassment. But
she doesn't have a name.
She does have a name. I looked it up, and her name is Helen. But it's funny because here on IMDb, I'm looking at all the top cast names. You have Veronica Corningstone. All the way to like the 7th person, we have Helen. And then the next 2 female names are Hot Blonde and Petite Brunette. Those are the next 2 female character names.
Oh my gosh.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, when we joke about how the movie's kind of makes fun of sexual harassment, but in all reality, the fact that you only have 1 character with a name, another very tiny character with a name, and then the next 2 actresses.
I almost feel as though they didn't give her a name in the movie. So it's like almost like here's the only example I know is Frozen. Like Frozen, Elsa and Anna's parents didn't have a name, but they have a name in the universe.
Well, yeah. I mean, we've run into that. We're moms and dads, right? Like I think in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, we don't know Cameron's parents' names.
Yeah, but they do have names.
Yeah, they have names, right? Yeah. But anyway, you look at it. Actually, we'll do this for the whole movie. Not only did it didn't pass the Bechdel test, but also got a 2 stars. There you go. Before we finish this movie, I do want to remind you, one of my favorite parts is the Afternoon Delight where they sing it all together. Oh, that was funny. That song was in my head all weekend. No?
I know.
You heard it. Yeah.
I heard it all weekend.
It's funny. I thought that part was funny. They did it like perfect pitch together. No. Anything else, Natalie?
No.
Thank you for tuning in to Papi Approved Movies.
If you like this episode, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on your favorite podcast app.
We put out an episode every Monday. If you want to suggest a movie for us to watch and critique,
email us at papiapprovedmovies@gmail.com.
That's papiapprovedmovies@gmail.com. No spaces, no caps.
We'll try our best to get to your suggestions.
And remember, it has to be PG-13.
Next time, we're watching Clueless, so I hope you join us.
I'm Papi.
And I'm Natalie.
See you next time.
Bye!